All to week, oops, we are welcoming you all to week 2 of the Synergy of Sacred Soul Sisters. And as we've said before, our intention here is to inspire more women to be able to enjoy authentic, heart-centered, and meaningful relationships. They are possible, to help you to move beyond the wounds of the past and to really be able to create reliable and supportive relationships together. So, last week we talked about creating sacred space, and we would like to ask you to just turn off all distractions that might be around you and to anchor yourself in your heart so that we can create sacred space together today. So that you can be present to all the women who are here. And Julie and I, let's do an introduction first. I am Jane Gratmans, and I am the creator of Empowered Feminine Leadership, and I teach women how to become more present so that they can step more powerfully into their feminine leadership and step up to whatever is calling them. And Jules?
And I'm Julie Connor. I am the creator and channeler of a beautiful program called the 33 Pillars of Consciousness that came through during the beginning of the pandemic. And that course has been evergreen and ongoing, where we really intimately get to know these very specific parts of our consciousness. And there's ways of doing ceremony and ritual and practices that deepen our connection to our divine self. And I've been holding sacred circles and events for women through my own private healing practice for over 20 years. And it is a deep honor to have this program kind of organically grow from the work that Jane and I are doing together.
And we'll talk more about that in another session. Julie and I have been talking a lot lately about the importance of creating safety, in being safe in a relationship. And so, Jules, can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and what we noticed as far as safety goes is it's so important to have that sense of safety in the body, right? If it's a concept, it sounds really wonderful and it sounds like something we have to attain. But if we could start a practice where we anchor that in our bodies, it's much more effective, and it enhances our ability to deeply connect to someone else, because we can't go into depth of connection if we lack this sense of safety in our own bodies. So in this time where the world is chaotic, we don't trust big pharma, government, doctors, the news, and we lose a sense of safety in ourselves. Can we even trust ourselves in a world that seems seemingly untrustworthy, right? And we don't feel safe. We can't trust anyone, and nothing feels safe. And this is a long conditioning that women have experienced, right? Would you all agree? We've been silenced. We've been burnt at the stake. We've been ridiculed. We've been victimized, right? We've been demonized for our power. If we look what they've done to Mary Magdalene, if we look what they've done with Isis, this beautiful priestess from ancient Egyptian times, this powerful mystery school goddess priestess, they named a terrorist organization. They took her name, Isis, and put it and labeled a terrorist organization. So these conditions to feel unsafe for women, where we then rely on the man to take care of us, and we give our power over. So what Jane and I are hoping to inspire in you is this practice to build an integral safety inside of you, right? So you can fully show up in your life. So you can fully show up in relationships, and that you get to experience the greatest joy and pleasure. And you need this fundamental element as an internal experience within inside yourself of feeling safe. And I feel as everyone jumps on the call and everybody joins the circle of light, we're working together to change this. So we can rely on ourselves and rely on each other, know that it's safe to go to a sacred sister, to hold space, to offer advice, right? Not to fix, because I believe we all have the medicine inside of us, and our beautiful sacred sisters help us wake that medicine up, right? So as we learn to create, navigate, and maintain sacred relationships that are going to be reliable, trustworthy, honest, and supportive. And that's the work that we're building over, you're kind of getting a little taste of what's to come. But these are the elements that Jane and I use in our daily meditation practice together. And we want to share that with you. So you too can be safe in your body and access your gifts and build the world that we know is beautiful, powerful, joyful, and doing that together. And we all know that there's strength in numbers. So we really appreciate you being here with us.
Yeah. And let's agree that it takes time and practice and commitment to be able to build the skills that we need to create what we really want in our life, what we deem as sacred for ourselves. And so today's topic is safety in sacred relationships. And each week we will be talking about different tips and tools, and they will build upon each other. We're just giving you a taste of what's possible. So there's going to be more coming. And we're just asking you, because we've only got a half hour together, that we're going to ask you to put your questions and comments in the chat. And we are definitely going to be looking at them, and we'll respond when we can during the session or towards the end, or through our programming that we're going to create. So I've got a lot of information that we're going to convey. We have a lot of information that we're going to convey, and you might see us checking our notes a little bit. But we also have a really powerful practice that we want to share with you to help you build that internal safety. And so just before we start, I have a question that I'd like you to put your answer in the chat. If on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the safest, how safe do you feel now in relationship to other women in terms of honesty, authenticity, and heart-centeredness? So we can really want and desire this for ourselves, but how many of us actually have created this for ourselves? Is there room for expansion? Where are you right now?
Yeah, and I'm just curious, and those that have responded 9 to 10, is that in the present moment, or is that overall in all your relationships? Because if that is, that's rock star awesome in my book. And not everyone is going to be our sacred sister, right? And not everyone is going to be on the same path, and that's okay. But to know that that's possible and that you could build it with more than just one other person is really a beautiful dream that Jane and I hold.
Yeah, and also we've noticed such shifts in the levels of our intimacy and ability to share, and being able to, express ourselves fully in the tougher ways of expressing ourselves and the easier ways, and that we really hold each other very beautifully within that. And so we're finding our own expansion consistently changing. So Jules, do you want to talk a little bit more about the
Yeah,
core?
just about some of the human needs, right? The drivers for our behavior, right? There are like these core behaviors that we have that fulfill a need, and we're always kind of manifesting them, whether it be constructively or not, but we're always managing these, and the core needs are, I'll go over them quickly. And I want you to identify where do I fall in these 6 core needs, and if you could share that in the chat too, that would be great. The first one, are you a person of certainty? You need safety, you need stability, you need security, you need comfort, predictability, some control and consistency. Is that a driver for you in your life? You need this certainty to be part of your everyday life and your relationships, right? I'll go through them quick and you just see like, yeah, that kind of sounds like me, or you may feel like it's 1 or 2 or even 3, but there's usually a prevalent one. Variety, right? You like adventure, you like surprise, challenges, excitement, different. It can't be the same thing every day. It's got to be, you have to have choices, right? And that's really important in how you move in the world and how you nurture yourself. For others, it's significance. Like, I need to know I make a difference. That is an integral part of everything I do. My words matter, my actions matter. I want to change the dynamics of how people move in relationship to themselves, to others, right? It has to have meaning. It has to be worthy of love. So significance is the driver. Then love and connection. That's for communication, approval. There's a lot of attachment. You want intimacy. You want to feel like you're deeply connected. Is that a driver? Growth, right? Are you a seeker? Are you someone always taking courses and classes and spiritual development and feeding and nurturing your intellect? Or are you someone where contribution is important? Philanthropic work, where you're always giving back, you're caring for, protecting, serving. So just consider that, like, am I someone driven by certainty, right? Stability, security, comfort, variety. Everything has to be changing. I don't like the humdrum. Significance, I have to know that what I do is important, right? I have this worthiness going on. Is it love and connection, approval, attachment, intimacy? Is this growth where it's constantly learning, developing, or contribution, giving back and serving? So just consider that, pop it in the chat. So it's good to know where you fall in that, because that's going to be driving how you move in relationship and how you move in the world.
Yeah, and then when some of these needs are not met, it creates a fear response. And so I want to talk a little bit more about fear, because when fear comes up, it creates a lack of safety. And then what our subconscious mind does is it starts to exhibit behaviors that are things like where we become more controlling or more manipulating. And sometimes we even dishonor a relationship, all out of this fundamental need to feel more safe. So when we start to become more aware that these patterns and habits are happening, that is the point of presence, that's the point of consciousness, our awareness. We get to choose. Do we go down that path, or do we make a choice to do something different? And what we want to share with you today is the choice that you have to create internal safety. And I'm just going to quickly talk about there's different ways of creating safety. We can create it either externally or we can create it internally. So the external is where we're looking for things outside of ourselves to satisfy that safety need. So it could be things like I'm filling up my refrigerator with a lot of food so that I can feel safe, that I've got all I need. Or same thing with money, that we keep stockpiling money so that we're safe in times that are more lean. It could be materialism, where we have a lot of things around us. I'm enjoying a car, I've got a pool, I've got all these things I can go out and enjoy, and that creates a sense of safety. It could also be that we can let go of our needs and wants in a relationship just to keep somebody in your life out of the fear of abandonment. So there are so many different ways that we can create safety externally to us, but here's the hitch. It's all temporary. And so another way to create safety is internally. And this is more about you have the power to create it. And when you can create this for yourself, it helps you to navigate literally anything and everything around you, because you're creating a whole new state of being. It's this state of calm. And when you're in that calm and you feel safe, and it's sending a message to your brain that you're safe, you can literally do anything. So when we're in this calm state, it also allows us to be communicating honestly with each other. Even though you may feel some fear or you're stretching yourself outside of your comfort zone, it also allows us to hold sacred space for the person that you're potentially in a challenge for. And we hear in each other much better when you anchor yourself in your own safety. Jules, shall we just go into the practice?
Well, I just want to say a couple of things about the benefits of creating safety, right? When we can ourselves be responsible about how we move in our own bodies and how that kind of relates with being in a relationship. When we embody safety, and this is science, it actually creates new neural pathways. The nervous system gets rewired because it is experiencing safety. So it's really critically important in developing sacred union, whether it be with a partner, a sister, a friend, another being, to have this as a fundamental piece, right? So just really hold that. And this having this safety as an embodied experience, I feel, is your medicine. It's the medicine that you give to yourself every day. It's the blessing that you give to yourself every day. Right? It's not relied on something outside of you, but this internal embodied experience is the touchstone of medicine for yourself. So I just wanted to highlight that, Jane. I think it's important for us to know that there's science to this too. Right? There's science about creating safety as an embodied experience.
All right, so let's jump into the practice so that you get to experience it for yourself. And it's consistency of practice. So the more that you are able to practice this on a daily basis, it will grow. The power of it will grow.
And Jane, can I just hop in one more second? So I want you to take a snapshot of kind of what's your sense of safety in this moment, and then you'll have a little comparison after we do the practice, just to kind of do, oh, I felt this before and now I feel like this after. So it might be a good way of you just recognizing that for yourself.
Okay, so for some of you, this may be the first time that you do this, and you might feel something and you might not. But the idea is that just slowing yourself down and bringing your awareness here is enough for today. So we are so conditioned to be in our heads that we disconnect ourselves from our power center, our feminine power center, and that is our womb space. And this practice is called womb space. So I'd like to take you there, and I invite you to close your eyes and come bring your attention inside your body. And with your breath, you can bring your energy down into your womb space, about 3 inches below your navel, and in more towards the back of your body. For some of you, it might be easier to envision a light there. And for others, you might want to cue your energy to be there by placing your hands on your belly. And it may be easier for some to use your heart as a portal to move down towards your womb space. So whatever feels more resonant to you, just follow that. And as you're in this space, for today, just notice what happens inside your body when you place your attention on this power center. And you may notice that your mind wants to go off and think about other things. That's okay. Just bring your attention in, back, and down. And try again. And with continued practice, this helps to quiet everything. Creates a stillness over time. And the power is in remembering to go to this space as much as possible. In particular, if you have a challenging conversation, you want to anchor yourself first in your womb space. Look after yourself. Put on your own oxygen mask. This is your own sacred medicine. Begin here. Honor yourself with the time and the practice needed to cultivate this skill. And then watch and see how it shifts your sense of safety, your ability to speak with the person you're in sacred relationship with, to be fully honest, fully heart-centered, and deeply connected. And with that, I welcome you to open your eyes again.
I'd
And
love
maybe,
for everyone to share in the chat if they noticed anything, the before and the after.
yeah.
If there was anything that really stuck out for you.
And so while you're doing that, I'll just summarize that this is a daily practice. And eventually it becomes a moment to moment practice all throughout the day. But it takes time to build that. So we give ourselves space to allow ourselves to learn something new. It takes time. And it takes a community to help build these skills together, to remind each other that we have the capacity to create something as important as safety, and how fundamental it is to be able to navigate any relationship, and in particular sacred ones where we want to create so much more depth and connection.
And I just want you to imagine from that place that may have been calmer, more centered, more grounded, communicating and engaging, not just in dialogue with someone else, but in life from that place. And just imagine that. Dream that into reality for yourself.
And so we are going to be coming to an end very soon. And we also want to let you know, first of all, we're very grateful that all of you are showing up and making time for yourself and helping us to build a sacred community of women who are really serious about their relationships. And next week, we're going to delve into the topic of honest communication. And we would love it if you could help us to spread the word. If you're very resonant with what we're doing, to please share our posts and our emails, because we're just starting this and we really like it to grow so we can support a lot more women. Julie, do you want to say anything about what's coming up?
I just want to say thank you again. I could feel your desire for this sacred connection, both within your own being and with other beautiful sisters. And that really makes my heart want to explode with joy. These do build upon each other each week. So that's why the replays are available. If you happen to miss one, you can go back. And I really invite you to just kind of hone in the sacred space, then hone in going into this sacred space inside of you. And Jane and I will be talking about little bumps that we've experienced just in our own learning and growing to create this beautiful, magical relationship that has blossomed so powerfully in our lives. And if there's any questions, you can certainly reach out. I hope you all have our email or a way to connect. We've been getting lots of feedback and we appreciate that tremendously. And we feel your love and support. And that's all I have in closing. So big love to your beautiful hearts. Thank you, Jane, for leading us today. Felt wonderful to kind of just be on the support system. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We're looking forward to see you next week. Bye.